Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I like to nerd out to the science behind how we can keep our houseplants happy and to multiply them in our homes. So if you're into that kind of content, please do subscribe to my channel and send me likes. In today's video, I'm going to be propagating this really beautiful Epipremnim Pinnatum Variegata. It's actually a really beautiful houseplant and a good replacement for your variegated monstera. This variegation is just as stunning, and as they develop into mature leaves that kind of climb up, it will give you more splits, and the dramatic splits are just beautiful. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attain it with this guy. Let me tell you why. First of all, I got it as a tiny plant, so the leaves were very small. And as you can see, the leaves actually grew very quickly in size and the splits started happening. However, as it got taller, I ran out of space, so I cut the top off and I stuck 2 cuttings back into soil. And what's happening right now is that this plant is actually in decline. If you look at all the leaves, they're not doing well. And in one of the leaves here, from one of the cuttings, the new leaf is super tiny and it's like died off. I'm guessing that it's going to be very root bound in here, so we'll unpot her in a minute. And also, she's actually very difficult to care for. First of all, it needs bright indirect light. However, if you give it a little bit less bright light, it will grow slower for you, and also it will give you more green. I can see some of the leaves that are more green is when I moved it into a less bright location. However, they're also very prone to getting burned. So if you put them somewhere where there's any kind of, like even dappled direct sunlight or morning direct sunlight would burn it. So it can withstand less light than your variegated monstera, just for your information. And also, it's very prone to overwatering. So it's given me quite a bit of yellow leaves. It's not a thirsty plant by any means, and it would just shed old leaves and turn them yellow if you overwater them. So just be mindful of that. I've actually never had any pests on this plant, and I've moved him around so many times. So yeah, he's doing really well. And actually, a lot of the aerial roots here have grabbed onto the moss pole, which is a beautiful thing. Let me tell you what I'm going to do today, actually. I'm actually going to cut it up to many pieces. I don't even want to bother with this plant anymore because the roots are going to be so root bound in there, and it's going to be all tangled up with 3 plants living in one pot that I may just chop the entire thing off and start over. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started. One last thing that I do want to point out is the beautiful variegation along the stem as well. They look like strokes, brush strokes of art. And actually the variegation comes from the stem. So when the leaf emerges from the part of the stem, it will have the variegation. So if the leaf comes from a part of the variegation that has green stem, it's gonna come out with the green leaves. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with cutting this plant up. Ooh, and in today's video, I'm going to propagate him using many methods. One is directly into soil, one is in sphagnum moss, and another one would be into water. So let's get started. So this top cutting, I'm gonna do it in water, and it's actually got a lot of aerial roots, but they're super tiny, but there's so many growth points for the roots over here that I'm confident it will root readily in water. So this is the top cutting. And actually this is very grabbed on to the moss pole, so I'm gonna have a hard time taking them out, but I have to. So as I'm doing that, I broke a stem, but that's okay. Ooh, maybe it is not okay. So yeah, I may lose a node here. I don't know, I broke off a part of a stem that, let's see if it will root or not. I'm not sure. So yeah, I've got all these cuttings, and when you have big leaves like this, the new growth is going to be a small leaf first, but it's going to quickly catch on to the size and the splits as well. And they really need a moss pole to get big. So with this plant, you definitely need to invest in moss pole. And from my previous lesson, I also know that I should not have them so pot bound. I should have them in sort of like maybe 1 plant per pot. This shows you how well they actually grab onto things in the nature. They really don't let go at all. All right, and I see so many aerial roots here. So a lot of them are going to be propagated in water because the roots are a little bit damaged as I rip them out. It's beautiful. So yeah, when you have aerial roots that are underdeveloped, definitely do it in water. If you have aerial roots that are doing better, you can go directly into soil or sphagnum moss. So I'm back with the pot, and it's a much bigger pot than what I had before, and it's terracotta, so it's fast draining. And I know that this is gonna grow really fast because there's 3 cuttings in there, so that's why I'm giving it a really big pot. And also this was before I knew what soil mixes are, so it wasn't in an aeroid soil mix, it was just in a very general purpose soil medium, which obviously the roots have overtaken. So I'm going to give it an aeroid soil mix, and this will be watered pretty much every day or two because it's going to be living outside. And my plan for this is that it's going to become a mama plant. So this is going to give me a lot of cuttings, and these babies I'm probably going to grow them, stake them up, and probably sell them or swap them with other plants. So let me get organized real quick. This is too messy. So off you go. I'm just chucking my plants on the floor. Let me put this over here. Much better. Okay. If you want to know my aeroid soil recipe, do check out my soil video. I cover in great lengths. Here. Nice. Oh, and by the way, I know I repeat this a lot, but after I do that cutting, I've taken so many plant material off, and there's so many good roots in here, you guys, that what's going to do is going to have so much energy to push out a lot of new leaves. So the leaves are going to be bigger, and it's probably going to bush out. So each node is probably going to give me a branch. So there's going to be a lot of branches coming out of this plant. I guess it'll be kind of cool to see a bushy Epipremnim Pinnatum just like taking over a pole. And I'm done. Okay, so I'm gonna do the one that's going straight into soil first. So I'm gonna be looking for something with obvious aerial roots that are established, such as this one right here. I'm not sure about this one. This is the one with the broken leaf. I'm gonna try it anyways. Got nothing to lose. that is done. This cutting looks really good too. It's got some roots happening. So if you see here that it's got two nodes and some excess stem, this is not going to do anything. So just cut off the stem. So this camera did not pick up the whole process of me potting these guys up, which was about 10 minutes long. But I'm going to quickly walk you through. So some of the ones that have a lot of aerial roots, I put them straight into this this aerated soil mix that I have, and they're going to just take off right away. And those that we have medium aerial roots with really good potential, I put them in sphagnum moss, and this is a pretty beautiful container. It's recycled, so I'm going to be able to see some roots develop in there. I'm going to enjoy this clear plastic cups, repurposed cups. Yeah, so those are going to be in here, and I have some cuttings here that are going to go straight into water, and then I'm going to get even bright indirect sunlight to wait for the roots to form. Just so you know, these guys don't really have a lot of roots. So, but yes, you can see they've got so many aerial roots here that it's going to develop very, very quickly into roots. So it's 2 days after propagating them, and I noticed that this one leaf, it basically just unfurled and it's not doing well. It's not hardening. It's going to go limp, and it's going to drain energy from this cutting, which has actually 2 leaves. And this previous leaf is still going limp. It's the only healthy one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to cut this off, because I remember when I did the cutting that there were only a small amount of roots in there. It's not enough roots to support such a big plant. So this is one way that you can ensure success of your cutting. So this is the 3rd week since the propagation, and a lot of things are actually doing quite well. I'm impressed. I'm going to take them out of the media to see the roots later. Everything's doing fine. This is putting out a new growth. Yeah, and oh, this is the parent plant, and this is important to show you. This one is growing a new vine from here, and there's another one that's growing a vine from here, and I think I see another one over here. So it's going to be very, very bushy. Let's look at the most obvious propagation here, and this is not a this is a syngonium that I just borrowed the propagation vessel. Yeah, and they're doing so well. It's great to root your cuttings together, and they just came in a week ago. So here's one of the cuttings in water. It's rooted really well, and it's the reason why we're filming today. Actually, in just 3 weeks, they've put out enough roots where I can propagate them in water. And this water vessel keeps getting mosquito larvae in them, which is why I can't have the plant sitting in them for too long. This one is also ready, as you can see the roots here. Yeah, this one actually needs to be in water a lot longer because the roots are not developed yet, as you can see here. But new growth is coming out, and also is putting out tiny little roots. But I have a feeling this is one of those cuttings that I think this is the one that broke off here. As you can see, if it's gonna focus, yeah, it broke off over here. It snapped. So I think I lost the node. So what happens in this case is when you have a cutting with no node, it would just come out with the new growth from the eye here, and this new growth will actually sprout into a leaf which has a node which has aerial roots. So the chance of survival is very low for this cutting, but it may survive provided that this new shoot gives us the aerial root that will give us the actual roots, because these, I don't think these are the roots that's gonna support this plant, this big leaf. So yeah, cross my fingers on this one. So yeah, we're gonna pot these 3 up in a bit, the ones that are ready. Next, we're gonna see how the ones in sphagnum are doing. Okay, not bad. I'm not gonna disturb the roots too much, but as you can see here, it's grown a lot of roots, very healthy roots in fact. Look at the fuzzy hair, how nice. Yeah, and I'm actually looking into sphagnum moss versus live moss, because sphagnum moss actually is a little bit too soggy sometimes, I notice. Let's look at another one. Oh yeah, look at that. Very nice. Yeah, very nice, beautiful white roots, which is no indication of rot. Let me take out one more. This one we can probably see from here. It's got very little roots. I can see something white sticking. I'm not going to take it out, but this is one with no drainage hole, so I have it in my balcony where it doesn't get rained on, because at some point it was raining and the water was like up to here. So let me do actually one more of the sphagnum. Oh yeah, I see roots over here. There you go. Very nice. Yeah, don't open this up and don't disturb it. Let it do its thing, but it's propagated really well in here. By right, I could actually move this to soil already, because it's eventually going into soil, right? And the fact that it's doing well in sphagnum and developing roots means that I can transfer it. So I may actually do that today, because while I'm doing the rest of the other cuttings, I'm just 2 birds, 1 stone, basically. Here's the last one that is in sphagnum moss. Yeah, and roots everywhere. Beautiful. See that? Nice. Love looking at white, healthy roots. Makes me so happy. Let me open this one. This is actually from the tipping point. It's putting out a new growth here, so I have to be very careful. Making a mess. Whoa, whoa, look at that. This is 3 weeks, yo. I guess if this is a competition, the ones that are propagated directly into the aeroid potting mix is definitely the winner, for sure. Yeah, this is doing remarkably well compared to, I mean, sphagnum, I'm sure it does well. I didn't open the sphagnum. I'm sure it comparably is doing well. And don't forget, the one that is in water actually did not have aerial roots on them. I plopped them in water with no aerial roots. So my strategy for propagating plants is that if it's got aerial roots already, I'm just going to go straight into soil. If it's not, then I'm going to go into water to develop some roots first. This one is doing okay. I don't see any roots. Hang on, let me yeah, this is not this is not really taking off. I think this is because the leaf is like this. So imagine like when you have the cutting here, there's a lot of chlorophyll that's going to photosynthesize and give you energy to push out roots. However, this one not only have variegated parts, it's got burnt off parts. So this is going to take quite a while to root up. In fact, I may actually move this into water. So yeah, I'm going to stick that into that vessel. Alright, thank you so much for watching my update. I guess that's it. I'm not going to film you the growth on these because I know that they're gonna take off. And yeah, as you can see, the water, moss, and also soil propagation method each has their own benefits, and you use them in different circumstances. So yeah, and also depending on your environment and your humidity and watering habits and all that stuff. So yeah, there's no right or wrong. So propagate away. Thank you so much for watching. I'm at Botanist on Instagram. If you have any questions about plant care and propagations, do DM me. I'll try to get back to you. Meanwhile, do take care and stay safe. I will see you. Bye.